I had someone on the show talking who wrote a book about the guide to forgiveness, and she wrote a book and how she would forgive people every night and to just forgive and say these things before bed, and it seemed like she was releasing a lot of anger and resentment, which is along those lines, and how much better she felt afterwards. And I think that's also in the same line of releasing emotion into the world that is trapped inside you. I think they're for different purposes, but I think they speak to the same benefit. One thing that I'm really curious about in that story you just mentioned is that how are you going about, because like you can go smash up a rage room, go for a run, dance, all of these things,
Mhm.
cry, but how are you, for one, uh triggering that, okay, I need to release emotion one, and then I need to release emotion 1A, and then 2, and then 2Z, like how are you tracking that? And then once you were to tap each of those numbers or emotions, how would you go and exercise it to get, or not physically, but like how are you to, like the exorcist, exercise those emotions to get them out, and then we can get to integration later.
Yeah, well, every moment of the day that bothers you is a gateway to a trapped emotion.
Jesus.
So you don't have to go. This is the thing with therapy. You don't need to dig in your past. Like, obviously, we know
Right.
certain events, breakups, heartbreaks, deaths. They're
Yeah.
obvious. Like, you know what they are.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff you don't need to search for because you either don't need to know or it doesn't matter because you don't want to ruminate in that.
Right.
And so if I'm bothered by someone commenting on Facebook or Instagram on a post of mine, or like some nasty comment I see, whether it's for me or another, and I'm triggered by that, that you are not angry because of that post. It's poking something inside of you from the past. So you don't need to know when it happened. But I started listing all the stuff and all the people that bothered me. And here's a big hint: most the stuff and the people that bother you are the closest people in your life. If you
Hmm.
really subtly notice, it's your parents, it's your closest relationships, and not that these people are bad. This is a normal thing, but they're indicators in all of this. And so
Right.
I just started listing everything that bothered me, and I started sitting with those, like in a quiet, contemplative state. Because much like you, I had a huge cathartic moment with my grandpa. My grandpa, 90 years old, committed suicide. And I was like, it was completely out of the blue. Like, we've never experienced anything like that in our family.
That's
It
awful.
was
I'm sorry.
so crazy, devastating. And the normal emotion people get with death is sadness, right? I had a little sadness, but I had rage like you would not believe come up because I number one, at the time, I didn't understand suicide. I did not understand how someone could do that. And because of my judgment, I held so much, right? We can talk about that too, but I was ticked at what he did to the family, how he left, no, why, just devastated us. And so
Right.
there was one moment, I had been enraged for a month or two, and my friend goes, "You still love him?" And I was like, "I don't want to talk about it. Like, I don't want to admit that I still love. I'm so mad."
Yeah.
And that night, I went, I went to bed. I hit my head on the pillow, and I was like, "You know what?" I said, "Grandpa, I do not agree with what you did. I don't think I ever will, but I still love you." And I meant every word of it. So, number one, I wasn't attached to being right. I don't have to agree with you, Grandpa. I love you. And I meant it fully. You talk about forgiveness, letting go of this attachment. In that moment, in 10 seconds, me saying that, a huge elephant of rage lifted out of me. And I was like your moment, I was like, what the F just happened? It
Wow.
was so profound. Like, the energy in the room changed. I felt lighter. And immediately I was like testing to see if I could still get angry. I went back
Right.
to all the memories that were triggering me before, and I could not get angry. I could not. It was gone.
Right.
Where did it go? And so that moment really, really changed me because I realized I'm holding on to judgments. I'm holding on to being right. I'm holding on to outcomes. I'm holding on to so much stuff. I want to notice everyone that bothers me, make note of that, and make peace with it.
Right.
And that's what I did.